Alright. Well, in that case, welcome everybody to Retro Book Club. Happy October, everybody. Welcome to Spooktober. Toon is not joining us this week, so we'll only have 4 games for the week, but there's still going to be some very wonderful games, I assure you, coming to us from Polk Kitsune.
Yeah, hello, buddy.
From Terravan. And from Veritasu.
I was promised coffee and donuts.
Well, maybe one of the games will have coffee and or donuts. We'll just have to find out, because...
Oh, you're gonna have some, like, inexplicably red rum.
Because as we transition over into our game order for today, I'm going to be starting us off this week with my game. And then it's going to be Polk, Terravan, and Veritasu. And for my game here, I feel like I was being pretty generous with this one, because I picked out a game that I was surprised that we haven't had on here yet. Like, it's a decently popular game, and it's a good game, a difficult one, but pretty good, and I think people will be able to consistently make progress in it because there are limited continues, and if you're unfamiliar with this game, I don't think in 30 minutes you'll get to the point where the game really starts to get unfair. So, you've got a Sunsoft classic, Batman for NES.
Woohoo! I nearly warmed up with that.
Ooh. Oh, I keep hearing stories about that one.
Oh, you haven't played it?
I've never played it. I've heard about it. I believe even Nintendo Power used to see that this is where even Retro, they said here that it was the Batman wall jump.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's in the top pantheon of the best Sunsoft games on the NES.
Yeah, I think you would be pretty hard pressed to find a better Sunsoft game on the NES, at least in my opinion. We've had some other Sunsoft games on here, like Fester's Quest we've had, Journey to Silius we had. I think Blaster Master is usually regarded as a pretty good one as well, though that is one that I'm not super experienced with.
Gremlins 2. Super Spy Hunter. Those are all, yeah, just a lot of... Once they reached Blaster Master, they're just like, okay, we figured out how to do games on this. And they just never look back.
Yeah, and there's one good thing about a lot of Sunsoft games, especially in the NES era, they pretty consistently have really good soundtracks, and that rings true here. Soundtrack for NES Batman is really good.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. I'll find part of me does wonder some of the Batman games, if they weren't originally a different game, just put on with a Batman coat of paint on top of it.
You're talking about like the TurboGrafx 16 game?
Ah, yes, that one.
Yeah, I think there's this one too, where he actually has a gun.
There's also the Game Boy Batman, where it's literally just tiny Batman running around with a gun.
Yeah.
Which is really good. Alright, I'm ready to go if everybody else is.
Everyone else is.
I don't hear anybody saying otherwise, so starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Batman. Also enjoy cutscenes.
Feels like I'm watching the movie.
This is for the Game Boy. Never beat it.
Alright.
The game is short enough that if you really know the game, you could hypothetically beat it in half an hour. I'll be surprised if anybody does do that, though. Like, even making it all the way up to stage 5, which is the last stage in the game, that's, like, really good. But also the final boss is a huge pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that one.
One of the main controls, you can press start to change your weapon select pauses, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, I would have thought it would have been the other way around. If you see any enemies drop missiles, that is your ammo for your sub-weapons.
Yeah, they all share the same ammo pool.
Yep. It's just which sub-weapon you pick has different costs. So your boomerang costs only 1, your gun costs 2, and the like 3-way shot costs 3.
And 80% of the time, your fists are your best weapon.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Your fist is pretty good because you can swing pretty fast.
And enemies have basically no iframes.
And you can stun a lot of them by just punching them. You can just jab, 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 jab.
Interesting. Unfortunately, I started this one here and I started whipping, it seems. So, ouch.
Nope.
Meh.
Gonna do that.
Alright. I have taken a lot of damage.
As have I.
Time to
You better have your
the
timing under
batarangs.
control. You better have your timing well on your punch, because otherwise, you're gonna whiff a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to get a handle on the timing.
Oh.
If you're having trouble with the using the fist primarily, second best is the batarangs, because the batarangs can do tons of damage.
And they're pretty inexpensive.
Yeah.
Alright, boss time.
Probably cheap.
It's funny. I told everybody what the controls were, and then what do? I keep pressing the select button.
Wow, that was a really good run of that boss. Just threw some boomerangs and he died pretty quickly.
Peace. We're getting some health soon.
Alrighty, into 2-1.
Why did Batman explode into a bat?
Stage 2 also has probably my favorite track in the game.
It's a good one.
Like, I like both Stage 1 and Stage 2. I think they're really gonna start teaching you, hey, you really need to learn to wall jump in this stage, or is that in later stages? Because there's definitely a point in the game where they're like, okay, if you haven't learned how to wall jump at least somewhat efficiently at this point, you're not making much more progress.
I think 3 is really where they start demanding that. This one's kind of still easing you into it. This one feels like it's heavily about learning how to properly distance your jumps. Because this one has more precise platforming.
Yeah, you can sorta control it, kinda. It's like half committed jumps.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's one part where they're like, okay, yeah, you need to know how to wall jump. And even then, I still mess it up. Woo.
Meh. Try to get fancy with those jumps, but
Funny story, I own the card for this, and one time I put it into my NES, and I guess it was slightly tilted. The game was in Japanese.
Wait, what?
That's impressive.
Apparently, the way that it's coded, it's basically got the English translation on top of the Japanese, so if certain pins don't make proper contact, it'll just load it in Japanese.
That's hilarious.
It was kind of weird.
NES games be like that sometimes, I suppose.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and anytime an enemy drops health, consider yourself lucky, because I noticed they really like to avoid dropping health when they can. Like, it is rare to see that drop.
Okay, yeah, that's 2-2 is where they're basically like, alright, and now you have to be able to do wall jumping.
Yeah.
Chris Burton.
Of course, this is still the easy version. The hard version is Stage 5.
Oh yeah, Stage 5 is just like, it does not care about you or your feelings. Okay, go back to regular punching mode.
Jetpack Man. Why? Batman's greatest nemesis.
Alright, into 2-3.
Huh. We're synced up.
I mean, I think we both know this game pretty alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you're both fine.
I mean, I'm probably gonna be slowing down a bit when we get to,
Stage 3.
Stage 3, yeah.
With the jumping guys.
Uh-huh, the jumping guys are the worst.
Something about hard games like this is you meet somebody else who's familiar with it. It's like, yeah, you can kind of commiserate on, that hard part.
Yeah.
B.
And I may die on the way to the boss. I am stupid low on health.
So am I. Took a lot of unnecessary hits there. Speaking of which...
Yep, there we go.
3. Wait.
That's death. That's fine. Continue situation, as I mentioned earlier, there are limited continues. I believe the way it works is you'll go back to whatever section you were on, so like 2-3 for example, I'll just go back to 2-3 if I get a game over. If you get a game over at a boss, you go back to the section before that, so I think 2-4 is the boss in this case. If I game over to the boss, I would go back to 2-3.
Whoops.
Not bad.
No, you start on... well, no, wait, that's lives. Never mind.
Yeah. I'm talking specifically about continues.
Yeah. It's nice of them to give you unlimited continues.
Nice.
I don't think anybody would beat this game otherwise.
At least they would have a very hard time.
Oh, they sure would. Yep, there's the boss. Alright, so... died right before I got there. Alright, well... I can live with that, I guess.
First boss, it's really got kind of a trick to it.
The trick is, use your sub-weapons.
Except for the last part.
By the last part.
The very last part of it, basically, you need to use your fists.
Yep.
But everything up till then, you want to use your sub-weapons.
Yep, boss is dead.
It does feel plentiful.
Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? Ha ha ha. Unfortunately, you don't get a full heal in between stages. You only get a partial heal.
That's sad.
Which is interesting considering the game already has unlimited continue, so it's like, why not just go the extra mile at that point and give players a full heal?
It's unsoft.
Give them a fighting chance.
Why make you continue all the way from the beginning of the game on Fester's Quest? I don't know.
See, for how difficult Journey to Silius is, at least that makes some amount of sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a short game. It's not that overwhelmingly difficult. Ah, screw it. It's gonna jump. Not like that.
Alright, I need to build up my supply of sub-weapon ammo again.
And so do I.
You know what, I'm just getting out of here.
Yep, I think you wound up doing the same thing I did.
End of 3-1.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's great. I'll just take death.
Death helps. Oh god. I've forgotten how rude some of these areas are and how many gotchas there are sometimes in this stage in particular.
Sunsoft does not feel pity.
It sure doesn't.
Sunsoft feeds on your pain. Enough is your cookies. Cookies of death.
I will gladly take that health, but I've only got 25 sub-weapon ammo left. That is not a good sign.
What's the difference between the bat symbol and the missile pickups?
Bat symbols, that's just, the B is just points.
Yep.
Ah.
You know, those all important points.
Pretty sure you don't get extra lives through points in this game.
Nope.
It would make some sense. Welcome to Batman, where the points don't matter.
I think I know what I'm going to plan on doing in 3-3. I think I'm just going to take the intentional game over, because I think 3-4 is the boss. So, I would rather just have a full tank of lives going to 3-3.
If I can remember the strategy on the fly for that boss, I think might can do it, although I'm really low on health. Slow down!
I'll take some ammo.
Although to their credit, that's one of the only places in the game where I can think of where it really does suffer slowdown.
It doesn't really happen all that much, does it?
No, like I say, basically once they got to Blaster Master, it's like Sunsoft really kind of figured out, okay, you know what, just go push me off. It's like they really did work out how to use the system. I did, on my stream, a little, some weeks ago, I did a history of Sunsoft, and I went through all of their NES output, and Blaster Master was really the point where they're just like, okay, we've got it.
Nice. So did they remade it?
But you're saying this is basically the sequel to that. To the History of Sunsoft lesson. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Sunsoft, oh fuck, wait.
Well,
I mean, Sunsoft and Oh Fuck are, pretty similar in definition.
Yeah.
One goes on with the other.
And they've made some, pretty generous games, as well, especially outside of their, NES library, because another game that they did that we had on here, from their N64 games was Chameleon Twist.
Although, did they actually develop that? Cause
That might have just been a publish sort of deal, but I know I saw the Sunsoft name on Chameleon Twist.
It feels like after, oh god it. Someone keeps killing me. Feels like after basically, partway through the Super Nintendo lifespan, they just seemed like they stopped making games themselves and just started publishing. Which is when the quality of Sunsoft titles took a noticeable decline.
Oof.
So it's like, yeah, this is not this good.
Alright, stage 3 is done.
Oh, you've gotten down the strategy pretty well then. Oh,
Well, I had a lot of health going into the boss, and if you just spam boomerangs on the boss with enough health, it dies.
Oh, okay.
Damage race.
Yeah.
Sometimes the old spam trick works.
Welcome to Spamalot.
It always feels like the game is a lot longer than it is.
Probably because of all the difficulty in the game.
Probably.
Like, at the end of the day, the game is 5 stages.
Yeah.
And they're not super long stages either.
Yeah. And most of stage 5 is a boss. Or 2 bosses.
Basically, yeah. Because pretty much stage 5 is 5-1, and then after that, it's a boss. And I'm promptly getting my ass kicked in 4-1 already, so... Probably a sign I need to, possibly take this a bit slower, if I can help it.
Ah, great. I don't have any lives going into this.
Do you have enough health?
About half. I'm gonna have to try to use the safe strat if I can remember it.
Safe strats where?
Alright. Now we're getting somewhere on here.
Well,
And I'm sitting good on ammo again as well.
ah, darn it.
Is that the sound of death?
That's the sound of death.
We are 15 minutes into the game currently, by the way.
What's that, babe?
Should be able to make it to stage 4 at least.
2, 3. Yay!
I might actually make it to stage 5 at this rate.
I think it's interesting that the game, despite its challenge, is surprisingly approachable.
The limit continues to help with that a lot.
Yeah. I think it also helps that the introductory stage is not that hard.
Yeah. Like, having
Even
the first...
second stage isn't that bad.
First stage isn't too bad. Second stage isn't so bad either, but you can definitely see a step up in challenge.
Yeah. Stage 3 is where it's...
Where shit hits
that
the
was where
fan.
I would, you know, get stuck and eventually get tired and, you know, switch
Yeah.
over to something else.
I think that sounds about right from my experience first playing NES Batman. First two stages, yeah, this is pretty fun, and then stage 3 is like, why?
It's a good game design where you can have a hook for first level, where it's not too hard, you can get yourself introduced, familiar with it, you really enjoy it, then you crank up the difficulty.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's really what you've got to do. You've got to, if at all possible, with the first stage, give them something to really make them want to play the rest of the game, and then make it to where it's not so hard that they give up.
Indeed.
So you get them over that initial hump, they'll keep playing. At least to a point.
I
There's
forgot
a limit, but
how
still.
hard 4-3 can be. This is the stage of the fire, and you gotta keep climbing up, and if you miss a jump, you're falling really far down.
Alright, I'm just gonna try and do safe strats.
Now let's go ahead and boomerang you.
I need money from my bullets.
And stuff costs money. Although he
But
is
Batman is made of money.
a billionaire, so...
Money is of
Why
no
would he
consequence to
even
this man.
Oh man, the Batman Forever MasterCard.
Ah, shit.
Yeah.
The good old Bat credit card.
Never leave home without it.
And unfortunately, I have immediately proved the problem with 4-3 of if you miss a jump, prepare to do a lot of climbing to get back to where you were.
Yes.
Also, that triple shot is very useful to take out enemies from afar so you don't have to deal with their bullshit.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I
I
think
can
that's
see
usually where I
that.
get the most use out of that.
There we go.
Well, about the fact that he's colored dark blue and kind of purple. Batman looks really good in this.
Yeah.
What about when he
He could just do it black all the time.
Sorry, was that Tara?
What about when he bursts in the flames?
He had to bust out the bat flames.
My gosh, you take a lot of hits.
Like I say, Boomerang eats through that boss's health.
Yeah, I'm using the save strat and I'm nearly out of boomerangs.
Well, that's probably not good. I think if you're really low on ammo, doesn't the game like give you some pity ammo or something?
I don't think so. I think if you run out of ammo, it's just your fists.
Ah, fuck.
Alright, beat him on to stage 4.
I died with 3 bullet and I came back to life with 3 bullet against the boss.
Okay, what is this boss now?
Polk at the boss of stage 2. I see.
Yep.
Oh, crap.
It's the boss I died to.
Yeah, that boss you really gotta use your sub-weapons for. That's the big thing about it. Like, you use your gun on the thing in the bottom right that you can just hit from where you start. Then, you attack... Once that's down, you attack the thing in the, top left of the screen next. And then you punch the thing in the top right. Like, that's the flow of that stage. Nice. Thanks for eating my jump input game. Feeling the love there.
Ah,
You know what, I'm gonna...
at least I got my ammo back.
I'm gonna go ahead and spike. Because 4-3... Boy, it's rough.
Alright, 2-4 done.
I got real close to the end of 4-3, but then died at the very end, so...
Oh, that hurts.
Like, I was all the way up at the top. I think it was at, like, the last enemy before the exit.
Okay, what is this thing?
Oh, you found the enemy that leaps around like a motherfucker.
Yeah, like, what is this? A killer croc?
I don't know what it's supposed to be. All I know is it's annoying.
It sure is annoying.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
of the regular enemies, it's probably the most annoying one in the game.
No, definitely.
He just dodges everywhere.
And there's so many of them in the sewers.
Mm-hmm.
So Killer Croc.
Yeah. We can go with that.
Works for me.
I want that health.
Stop it!
Am I gonna get in time? Yes, I am. Okay.
I think the worst thing about 4-3 is the fact it tantalizes you with, here's the exit!
Yeah.
No, you can't reach it!
It's just right there in the beginning, and you have to take the long way around. I'm sure there's some speedrun tech that allows you to get up there really fast or something. But
That would be...
if there is, I'm unaware of it.
Okay, what the fudge?
Alright, well, switch to this. Yeah, that works pretty well. Unfortunately, I used quite a bit of my ammo, but whatever works. Okay, we're gonna jump over you this time. Okay, now I had a tiny bit more to go, but yep, there's where the exit is. Alright, so I'm at the boss now.
Alright.
Good luck.
Ugh, right, it's this boss. I hate this boss.
It's the box! Ooh, wow.
Why did I jump there? Meh.
Very good.
Where was this? Was it here that it was typically recommended to stand? Yeah, it was here. Okay.
Pete.
One of those where you really have to take advantage of those... I don't know if you... They're not exactly iframes, but they kind of are.
Ish.
Like anti-iframes?
I got
It
him.
doesn't help... It doesn't so much help them as it helps you.
Like, you punch them, and while they're in, like, quote-unquote iframe mode, they can't hurt you, sort of. Sometimes they get an attack through, but I got the boss, so I'm up to 5-1 now.
Alright.
Nice.
Will we see a game clear?
Oh, Lord, no. Because I know how the boss of Stage 5 goes. I'm not blind to this game, so I know exactly how this goes. I'm gonna want to get a full tank of lives, though, before I climb up there. Not to mention I gotta go through the entire... Not to mention I have to go through the entire gauntlet of 5-1.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Ammo,
Just a few gears? How bad could it be? Oh no!
Sounds like a fun time. Wait.
I also do not remember how to officially fight the first of the two bosses. I have a general idea of how to fight Joker, despite how much bullshit that fight is.
Boomerangs, I think, are the key to Firebug.
Yeah, it would make sense. It's, you really don't want to get close enough to him for punches.
Oh no.
Actually, no, you let him get close enough to... I think the idea is you basically kind of trap him in a pattern.
So, pretty much you dance with Joker.
What is nice, though...
Not the
Moonlight.
Joker's too random for that.
Yeah. What is nice, though, is if you manage to defeat the first boss and make it to the Joker, if you get a game over and have to redo 5-1 again, first boss stays dead, so you do not have to fight him again.
Definitely nice.
Alright, I'm at the big ascent in 5-1.
Good luck.
This guy is more
Let me
annoying
know if
than
you
any
make
of the
any of
bosses I've
those-
fight.
Tell me if you make any of those... You know what kind of jumps I'm
Yeah, I
talking
know
about.
which ones you're... I just went through the first one. I think there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Basically, the almost impossible jumps that you have to get really lucky in order to make.
Alright.
Take this slowly. Okay. Alright. Jump the second. I made it! I managed to make one of them.
Woo!
One of those hell jumps.
Nice.
Alright, I finished 4, so I'm on the 512.
Enjoy.
Fun.
Alright. Time for boss.
Come on, Suarubas. Go down, man.
And those gears are well animated.
What is it, 27 minutes? Yeah, I'll take a 3-minute breather.
Yeah, So I remember how I'm supposed to fight this boss, but that doesn't make it great.
Are you using the gun?
I'm using the gun. Because it has more range than the boomerang, in case he jumps backwards.
Okay, makes sense.
You know what type to use?
Do you have enough ammo for it?
I came in with a full slot of ammo. Unfortunately, death is not going to help my ammo situation. I'm gonna try using the boomerang. Because I don't think this is a fight you can very easily, like, brute force. Maybe it is.
Not really.
Because I recall this guy having a ton of health.
I think you're right.
We're gonna find out, because I'm gonna try the brute force and see what happens. Oh, I managed to get him. Okay.
Hey, good job.
Nice.
I had to do a little bit of dodging here and there, but I'm at Joker. Are you ready to meet your
Good
destiny? I do have a life, but if I die to Joker, that's basically... if I get a game over to him, rather, that's gonna be it.
Yeah, because you won't be able to make the climb in 3 minutes.
Yeah, and his gun does 3 damage when he hits you. And the lightning, it's ridiculous. And yeah, I did die to Joker, unfortunately. But getting to the final boss in this game, I'd still say pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing to sneeze at all.
I'm hoping I should be able to make it to Firebug. I didn't manage to clear either of the jumps.
Oh no, Rhea. Man hits the Scoutmaster. I see him far away.
Ah!
Uh-oh.
Don't be
It's not a
afraid
good
to
sound.
use Renee's voice.
Last minute, by the way.
Alright. Let's probably just die to him once and then try it one more time.
I'm gonna kill at least one more of those buggers. Like, how are we supposed to fist fight these things?
I just throw boomerangs at him most of the time.
I was, for a little while I was kind of short on ammo, so that was a problem.
I got raided and I wasn't looking at my own chat because I don't have alerts because of RBC. I'm so sorry about that, everybody. Welcome in.
Hey.
You can tune in to
Welcome, everybody.
twitch.tv/BookHowManyGames to see the full show.
And you can see everybody's feed.
Second game before.
We are, at the 30-minute mark now, by the way.
Alright.
Alright.
See if I can just... Can I beat Firebug? Come on.
While you were trying to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and pull us over to break time, because when we come back, I believe Polk's game is up next. Yes, Polk will be the next game on the list, so we will see you in a bit for that.
And the answer was yes.
You managed to beat Firebug? Well, might as well try to beat Joker.
Nice.
If you got the time.
One health?
Do you have any lives?
Beat the game. What is
You never specified.
Oh, I'm sorry. It did give me back some of my health.
Yeah, the game's generous like that.
Yeah, no.
You like Batman. Beat the game without getting hit. Actually, I looked at the achievements.
Yeah, the achievement. Some of those achievements are like, no, just no.
So, it's an individual achievement for beating each stage with only your fists and without taking damage.
I mean,
It's not
granted,
enough to have one or the other.
if you can do that, you're gonna be really good at the game.
If you do that, you don't just deserve an achievement, you deserve a trophy.
There's games I'm good at, and there's games I'm
Also,
bad
hello.
at. If platformers were a video game, I'd be bad at that.
Oh, we got one bot in the chat, so let me pop them out.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
You're gone, bot.
while you're doing that, it is time for the second game of the night. I didn't change these, did I? Fuck. Hang on.
I'm in kobolds. We gotta call them up and see what
Yep,
game.
I clearly have been way too busy with being sick this week to remember to fix any of this, so give me 1 second. I knew I was forgetting something in setup. Let me go ahead and at least change this one. I'll get the other ones changed as we're setting up. Because thank God for studio mode to make me look slightly smarter than I actually am. Okay, let's try it again. With Polk's game, not Anon's game.
Yeah, a bit different there.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, well, for today here, since it was a bit of an October starting here, spooky month begins, I thought I'd bring something a little bit darker here. And a bit of a game here I'd love to see back in my childhood. Based a bit on the actual Japanese novel, and a bit of an RPG here with a bit more urban twist.
Oh, jeez, I already know what it is.
Welcome to the RPG, the Squaresoft RPG of Parasite Eve.
Yeah, based on a novel.
Yep.
Yep.
While I'm thinking about it, I might as well get the rest of these changed. Before I end up forgetting that further.
Oh, good game though. I've finished it a few times.
It is great.
I've never finished the Chrysler Building though, because only people who bought this game when it was new did it, because it was the only game they had.
I should look at buying that copy of Parasite Eve that my local store has. They have a copy of it, but I think it's like $200 or something.
Holy,
Ooh, not cheap.
it's
Whoa.
not. Criminy, the game's not that rare.
Let me double check price charting actually before I make sure everything's set up and see what that.
Definitely a game that
Yeah, I'm gonna
definitely
look
had
that
a
up,
great
too.
hits release.
I do believe it was released on the PlayStation Store, so if you've got a PS3 at the very least, you will get it there. But
Yeah,
the physical
that
version,
Yeah, it's not that expensive, so I don't know what the.
Yeah.
It might have been a sealed copy. That's entirely
maybe.
possible.
that would explain that.
But I mean, like,
There we go.
games going for a ridiculous amount of money that are actually really common is not an unknown idea. Points to
Pretty
most
sure,
Pokemon games.
yeah.
Yep.
What's price checker say for Resident Evil 3 Nemesis?
Specific version?
I don't know. Was there more than one?
Well, I mean, it got released on the. I think it got a.
Yeah, it got released on different consoles, which go for different prices. The most expensive one I see on here is the Dreamcast version at $90 complete.
It's not bad. It used to be more than that.
Oh, the GameCube one.
But no, like-
up there. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah. I think I picked up the GameCube one because one of the local
Weirdly high
stores...
resolution.
I think one of the local stores got both Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 on GameCube, so I just scooped both of them up.
That's what's
Yeah.
nice about the Capcom survival horrors, like Resident Evil Dino Crisis and all that. They all got obscure PC releases that have been kept up so you can play them in high res.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, on the subject of like Pokemon games costing way more than they should, Pokemon Emerald's one I like to point to because like that sold like over 1 million copies, I'm pretty sure. And yet, in spite of that, I walk into a store and cart only Pokemon Emerald's like $140, and it's like, really? This is what this has devolved into.
If I had money, I would own a copy of Three Stooges for every single possible console.
I mean, that's a good goal to have.
Yeah. Holy crap! $106 for Pokemon Emerald? Really?
Yeesh.
It's funny how people will go like, yeah, this is worth a lot of money. It's like, dude, everybody's got that.
Yeah, because they're games that are sought after, and they're also like in the case of Pokemon games, especially, like there's a lot of fake Pokemon cartridges out there, for example. So it's very easy to get duped into buying a fake if you're not careful.
And then you get those games that are actually pretty good, but never get very expensive. Like
the only problem with Parasite Eve here is that Parasite Eve's a really good game, but unfortunately, the first half hour is very cutscene heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oftentimes the problem with RPGs. My favorite example of bootleg stories is like I have Mario Party Advance here, and like I picked it up in a GameStop years and years ago. It was a childhood copy of mine. It's a bootleg.
Yeah, I had a friend who got 2 Castlevania Game Boy Advance games on one cart, and I'm like, let me look at that box. Yeah, that's a bootleg.
Yeah, I think there is an official like Game Boy Advance Castlevania like 2-pack though.
Yeah, there is one. That's what it was a clone of, but it's like the box was not particularly well photoshopped.
Hey, O'Connor!
Yeah?
Hey, you love video games, right?
Yeah.
Hang on now. Check this auction.
Oh boy.
Oh, for God's sake. I'm not...
Sealed.
Yeah, that ain't happening. Actually, you know what? I'm curious. Okay, actually, I'll look it up later. But before we get sidetracked further, I'm gonna go ahead and count us down for Parasite Eve. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Parasite Eve. One thing I did learn about Parasite Eve... Oh, no. I guess what? Okay, that was interesting. So when I was testing this earlier, I was testing it in BizHawk because I was lazy and didn't want to open up RetroArch. And for some reason, it wouldn't pick up my D-pad, so I just assumed, oh, analog-only game. But no. That was just a weird hiccup.
Something happens.
Cutscenes you can't skip.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they're nice cutscenes, but still.
Can't skip them even on New Game Plus.
I have the timer started slightly late, but that should be fine.
It's gonna be fine for this.
It's only like a few seconds difference. And hey, unskippable cutscene means I can look up some critical info, such as what is the Three Stooges for Game Boy Advance run for you?
Wait, there was Game Boy Advance?
Yes. Yes, there is.
Everything.
Three Stooges Game Boy Advance complete, $12.
Oh. That's less than 300.
The most expensive version I see here of the Three Stooges is the NES version, if we're talking complete in box. If we're only talking loose, it's Commodore 64, then Amiga, then PS1, then NES, then Game Boy Advance.
Got the...
Also, fuck, man. PS1 Three Stooges complete is like $40. What the hell?
What the heck?
Really?
What is?
The Three Stooges for PS1. If you have it in the box, it's $40.
It's crazy. Oh, hold on.
It don't matter. I'll just make the default name. If I was actually trying, she would be Trill Hole, but
Okay, so I'm not really experienced with Parasite Eve, but this plays out like something that has voice acting, but it doesn't sound like it does.
Yeah,
It was not the time.
That does not have any voice acting whatsoever.
You wish it would if there was a remake. I still have to play the PSP one for third birthday. Which people hated.
I seem to have heard bad things about that.
Do you know what my survival horror needed? Model clothing damage so that my protagonist gets more nude.
Oh gosh.
But
I can't wait for
Your clothes get all slashed up and it's kind of awkward.
kidding. Oi.
I'm kind of surprised this hasn't had a remake. I mean, the combat system's pretty cool.
It is. Maybe because it's too linked to the novelization, they'd have to pay for everything else around with it.
Maybe.
But it is a great game for the time.
Oh yeah.
The second one is good also, but I don't feel like it captures everything that the first one has.
Didn't it go more kind of Resident Evil-ish style?
Yeah, definitely. And getting the good ending on that here is obscure as heck.
Doesn't it have? I remember reading that in a strategy guide back in the day. Doesn't it have to do, among other things, with like a bag of ice that you can't afford to let melt?
I believe so. Oh, there were. You got to backtrack a whole bunch of places where you didn't think you'd have to backtrack to in order to be able to save certain people, and there's about a whole list of 10 different things that you can't miss a single one without losing the whole good ending for it. Which also makes it odd because that's also the best way to get the best equipment in that game. So it's an all-around advantage. Oh, and then people have decided to be hot.
Well, these men went to Burning Man.
people decided it was a good day to be lit on fire.
Burn, baby, burn. Opera Inferno, burn, baby, burn.
They're on fire!
Oh wow, my boyfriend's so combustible.
Oh, the humanity!
And I knew my boyfriend was hot, but not this hot.
Nope.
That's the last time I'm going to fire, man.
One star out of 5. The popcorn was good.
That's a hell of a way to start your game.
Like everybody burn.
Oh wait, that's right. Her date didn't die. I forgot.
For some reason.
Wow. Contemporary Magazine Computer Gaming World gave Final Fantasy VIII a 2 out of 5. Take that.
What? What?
I mean, I know it was not as popular as 7, but it was bad.
Everybody else is like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, but not these guys.
Maybe they really hated that card game.
I mean, who could blame them?
Yeah.
TCM doesn't seem like they have the. Yeah, but everybody hit themselves over 7. Because I've been looking at what happened. So, Final Fantasy 7, Parasite Eve, Final Fantasy 8, Parasite Eve 2. Parasite Eve 2 does bad. So, with the next year, we get Final Fantasy 9. Then after that, we get Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 11, Final Fantasy 12. So something tells me they jumped ship with the one series that wasn't doing so good.
Like, for his answer, they probably grinded to level 99 on the Trexor, and then everything was too hard, and then got mad about it.
To be fair, you don't usually expect it to happen like that.
No. To most of the RPGs, You don't expect the enemies to scale with you.
Yeah.
Scaling difficulty unheard of.
Me.
I've been blessed with the power of RPG healing abilities.
Yep.
Just kind of want to wander around and...
Hey.
In my experience, you're going to get a lot of spells that aren't to heal, but you'd be a fool to use anything other than to heal.
Yep.
Pretty much.
There's some powerful things in there here, but health is just better all around.
Well, other than Liberate, but you kind of need to overlevel if you're going to get Liberate anyways.
Yeah. And if you want some extra ammo, I believe you can just go outside and you'll be able to meet the police, get a whole bunch of that. If I remember correctly.
Yeah,
This is an interesting way to be able to do battles back at the time.
Yeah.
Action RPG style here with gunplay.
Team Hospital, I'm in the wrong game.
Some weird load times.
Yeah, I think if you go to the hole and then say, don't jump down.
Yeah.
Okay, nobody are outside yet, I guess.
I've got a problem now.
Later.
That problem is I'm out of bullets.
Uh-oh. That's a problem.
You should. Don't you have your baton with you?
You could change to a billy club that you got.
I believe so. And whenever you battle like that here, you want to make sure that your enemies is within the circle. Otherwise, your accuracy is going to go down. Like
Yeah, I learned that the hard way once I ran out of bullets.
Oh, it's probably not going to come up in the first half hour. But the way the bullets work, so the more bullets are in your gun, the less damage is done over each shot. So, a gun with more spread is just bad. You just want to deliver one strong bullet than a bunch of bullets that might miss.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think eventually there's some weapons that basically don't reduce the amount of damage you do, but do have multiple shots. But that's much later in the game.
Yeah, there's some special attributes you can equip to the weapons, which is one nice little factor of this game here is that your weapons are customizable. Like you've got weapon slots, you can tell if one of them wants to give you antidotes, one of them you want to give explosive ammunition, like multi-hits here. There's a whole bunch of customization you can do with most weapons. If you want a machine gun that shoots rockets, well, you can.
Oh man, suspicious hole in the ground.
Whatever shall we do?
You got stuff.
Let's completely ignore it.
Alright.
And by that I mean we're gonna jump down.
I never knew about that.
Okay, you can get as much ammo as you want from him. Okay.
He runs out eventually, but he has a lot.
Yeah, about 10 shots of ammo in it.
I mean, golly gee, I've got 66 ammo now. I'll just keep talking to you.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's get all the ammo you could ever want.
Oh yeah, whenever you break down your guns, make sure you dump the ammo out of them first.
Yeah. I'll eventually get to the point where you do get to a point where it's not as significant.
Yeah.
And
There's a place in the police station where you can just go in and out, grab as much ammo as you want.
Yep.
Just don't go looking for rockets or grenades. That's a little hard to get.
Oh man, I found a rat.
Oh yeah, ratty rat. Looks healthy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Healthiest hamster.
We are going to see the most sympathetic character in the game, though. We're going to see the clown man.
Yep.
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
Stupid I didn't know. Did you know wearing bathrobes offers the latest rage?
Yep, still pretty healthy.
Yep. They grow so quickly. So fast. Down we go.
I've played this game a bunch of times now. I just forget which story is supposed to go to first.
At some point, I need to play Resident Evil. Resident Evil. I've played Resident Evil 2. I need to play Parasite Eve 2.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I need to play both the Parasite Eves in general.
Well, this is basically how I felt on Wednesday and Thursday.
It's like, A, I'm not much of an RPG person, so a lot of RPGs usually go under my radar. B, I'm not much of a PS1 person, so a lot of PS1 games usually go under my radar.
Yep.
What?
Can't believe you're there.
I found a phone.
Which is your save points? Classic, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right,
As long as I can save as many times as I've won, I don't have to worry about data or any of that shit.
Yeah.
You're limited. You have limited amounts of quarters to save with.
Ooh.
Yeah, point of, it doesn't do the Resident Evil thing of, you can only save so many times, use them wisely.
Yeah, increments. Ugh.
Hey, that's
Make
locked.
sure survival error, but that's but me.
That's
We're
locked.
First, was it enemies?
It costs $1 to use the payphone, so if you put all your money in the ATM, you can...
I found the clown.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Why does the rat shoot fire? Like, when did it learn that?
It learned it through mitochondria.
Well, clown's dead.
Up.
Damn, I got the clown.
He
Those are the
wasn't
clown went out and tried to
anymore.
go and fight.
Might as well search the lockers for any potential ammo.
Heat or body armor.
I did manage to find 6 ammo searching one of these. The rest seem to be empty. Yep. Alright, let's check on that clown.
I don't know what it is.
Look.
Load times are kind of getting ridiculous.
Oh, I love Key.
They always kill the funny one first.
Might as well
No.
check the other side, see if we can get a little bit of... Okay, medicine. Medicine helps.
Indeed.
Oh. Maybe we should check on that person once we're done raiding these lockers.
Yeah, maybe. Good idea.
Help, help. Not being attacked by Iago. Or maybe it's... Oh, this one doesn't attack you, it's the other one. Using that with this room. That one was a good bird, this one's a bad bird.
Yup.
Yeah, that's the
One
one.
decided involved, one decided not.
That's also locked. I don't think any of these doors are open now. Nope. Oh, let's check on some of these other doors then. Locked.
Weird load times. I don't know why that is.
Locked.
Fine. Random encounters. Lovely.
Locked.
Gotta love the music too.
Yeah, music's good.
I found that
If I
clown.
remember it right. If I remember right, for most screens, the encounter rate is 100%, 70%, 30%, 10%. So, like, there's some rooms where you're guaranteed the first time you go in them to get a fight, and then it's mostly likely, and sometimes, and then I guess that's a little tricky. But you can grind. It's just the counter rate gets kind of bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be back in a second. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, I'm basically going to be spending most of the time at this point wandering around, exploring, seeing what the hell ever I can find.
Hey, survival her 101. Look around, grab whatever's not nailed down.
Okay, I can't actually go this way. Okay.
What's there?
Oh, this just leads back to the hole.
Ah, bird. Hot, hot, help, help. Verb.
Up to you
I
again.
checked the statue. Oh.
Oh, God, if you go down the hole, you don't need to come up again.
I figured it'd be worth taking a look anyway if I was given the option.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really no. Well, you can go back up if you need ammo.
Yeah, that was the main thing I went back up to see is possibly getting a little bit more ammo.
Me. I'm missing with me. This, of course, is locked.
Every door is locked.
Well, half of them at least. I think I'm missing something.
I talk to this
Theater
person
key.
and see what info they've got on me. Oh, theater key. That might help.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's find out what it unlocks.
Okay, it's a dressing room key, which means it's gonna open one of the side doors here. Yep, unlock the door.
Would be Melissa's diary, if I'm not wrong. Just the other key you get up here, I believe.
Hey, ammo in the wardrobe.
Why not?
Sure.
Guess that girl's got to be protected.
Indeed. You never know when a fan's gonna come in.
Wait, what did I pick up?
That's a very aggressive statement to have against fans.
Hey. Ooh, ammo. Meh.
Why are there so many parrots?
I don't think I've run into a single parrot yet.
Really?
Really? Guess one of them's kinda optional. Ooh, more ammo.
Let's check for
Hello,
this. Oh, I think I finally found a parrot. I talked to you. Oh, yep. Goodbye, parrot. Hello, demon parrot.
Oh yeah, that's right. If you talk to it, you get a fight out of it.
Yep.
I beat the shit out of it and leveled up. I'm going to guess you have limited storage space in a game like this.
Yes.
Sure do.
I do believe there are upgrades you can get to it here, but I don't remember when or where.
You can, I know you can upgrade it eventually. I think once you start getting tools. No. Whenever you, it's based on your.
When you get points from battle, you can go to you can go to you don't have the BP menu yet, but eventually you'll have a menu and then you can permanently upgrade your carrying capacity and I can't remember what the game calls it. Action points, I think.
Yeah.
Just makes you reload the turn faster.
Energy, weapon.
I like how far I'm getting without using my gun. Although I've got plenty of ammo for it now at this point.
Yeah, well, you're probably going to need to use them for some other parts.
Okay, so I guess the main thing I gotta figure out is how to...
Oh, you're right.
Actually, wait, there were some other locked doors back here.
Ooh, true.
But I assume my main objective in this general area is to figure out how to unlock the door at the end of the hall.
Yep.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, nice. Level 3.
I think the room order is back left, back right, left forward.
Gonna
Also,
go and
when
heal.
when you get to the room with the suit of armor, check the crumbling wall.
Ooh.
I can't remember what you get in here. Let's see. I think you get something really good for where you are in the game. Is it an armor?
Medicine.
Yeah, you get the nut protector, the end protector.
Nice.
Ooh.
Protect your end.
I think at this point I'm pretty good to go ahead and just switch back to my gun.
Highly useful.
Your Billy Club?
Yeah, I've been using the club for a while, so I think it's time to finally go back to the gun.
Oh, use the offense one. Yeah.
Would be really handy. Is it wrong that in that hidden room there's a skeleton?
You know what? Don't question it.
I guess
I feel like
trying
enemies are dropping ammo and medicine enough to the point where I don't really need to worry about my health, though.
I always laugh at that. Why does the tiny rat get, like, the rat model? It's not like the rat's jumping out regular and becoming infected. It's already infected. They're just making that model bigger, and it looks goofy as hell.
Thanks to the Lunar Heights arcade for the raid. So you don't want to go. Well, I got bad news for you. We're gonna go places with Parasite Eve. You tuned into Retro Book Club here. We are on the second game of the night of 4 for tonight. Oh hey, this wall's about to crumble. Guess what? This wall crumbled.
Who would have predicted that?
Oh, I found the nut protector that Tara was talking about.
No offense, Steve. You're getting kind of weird looking.
Yeah, just a bit. No, it's spoiler alert. It gets worse.
I don't even think that's bad. One of the best, excluding the Chrysler Tower items, one of the best armors in the game is the CM protector, which I don't know what it stands for, but I can't.
Cosmic nuts.
Cloud protector.
Cosmic nuts. We're gonna go with that. Very appropriate right after spooky games. I can imagine, especially since I think that was part of the reason why Polk picked out this game was because we were entering the month of October.
Spooky month.
Not the spooks.
And Suzanne was double cast.
Well, this also counts as a Christmas video game too.
It's true.
It's a 2-for-1 special.
It's a Nightmare just before Christmas. Although it looks very different from what I usually see it.
Rehearse key.
Oh man, more ammo. I didn't have enough of that already.
Alright, but
How much ammo do I actually have at this point? Ammo crate, 66 bullets.
I was thinking about Parasite here, and if you said, like, even blind, I think you could beat this game in one sitting.
I mean, I can't really imagine too many,
It's a 2 CD game, and it's not very long.
Yeah. Like when I noticed that this was a 2 CD game, I was really hoping that nobody would, get far enough in the game to have to go to disc 2 when we were playing this, but I would have expected from this being an RPG that wouldn't happen. Yes, this is the original Parasite Eve.
This 2 is one dungeon and the final boss.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn. Alright, well, I'm gonna take out...
One dungeon is, woo!
both of you at once.
It's a doozy! Story's so good. Like, there's so much good stuff behind this. Let's jump in.
Well, I might as well go ahead and change armor, since I've got better armor. You know, it would make sense to equip the better armor.
Yep. Welcome to the sewer level.
Oh yeah, in a horror game, you gotta have sewers.
Yep, Kate does that. It's a classic. Where do you think all the rats came from?
Okay, can I open this? This looks like an openable thing. Increase defense power by 1.
If you stand perfectly still and just let Eve shoot at you half the time, she'll just miss. She'll fire her bullets with both hands, and you'll just be there in the middle looking at it.
Yep.
Load up. Passive powers involved. Scan. As enemies HP and weaknesses.
Oh no, more Mystery Hospital.
It could be evil, right?
Something I'm not sure if I really care for in this game, although this could be partly because horror game, you feel really sluggish in this game.
Yeah.
Like, the speed that you move at when you're not running is, like... Why?
I crawl for no reason.
It's so slow.
Yep. Like, what? You're not exactly in an action game in this one. It's...
Not that that necessarily stops you from sometimes basically acting like you're in an action game.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, the battle sections are pretty actiony.
Yeah, but at that point you're already running.
Well, yeah, you don't have to worry about holding down run button. Even though for like most of the battles, I have instinctively still held down the run button up to this point.
Reflex.
That's interesting. You can also drop items in treasure chests.
Yep.
Yep. Rather than dropping you whatever you have completely out.
Yeah, so the way RBC works is I get my ass kicked by birds. Is how that works. No. So everybody in the call has picked out a game for us to play for today. We've already done my game, the first game of the night, which was Batman for NES. The second game, Polk's game, Parasite Eve 2, and once we hit 30 minutes, which, hey, we just did.
Oh, wow.
Oh, time flies.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, and that means that we are going to take a quick 1-minute break. And when we come back, we'll be playing the third game for the night, which is Terravan's game.
Oh boy.
See you in a few.
Yeah, if you haven't played through Parasite Eve, give it a strong recommendation. It's a really solid game.
I may do that.
Mechanics, yeah,
Like,
I highly recommend it.
Like, RPGs, I'm always like, I had to be in the right mood to play an RPG. Because, like, what was the last RPG I just, like, sat down and marathon? Was that Like a Dragon? It might have been that.
Does the Illusion of Gaia count as an RPG?
I guess, but it's also not, like, a really long RPG. I'm thinking, like, an RPG that's, like, much longer. Because Yakuza Like a Dragon still takes, like... I think my campaign time on my first playthrough was, like, 60 hours. And I mostly just, like, sat down and played it in very long sessions. But also, it's a Yakuza game, so dumb bullshit happens all the time. And that's very entertaining.
It's true.
Alright. And now it is time for the third game of the night, Terravan's game. And this is a game that we've had on here before. I meant to tell you that when you sent this to me, but I forgot we had this before. I was also busy trying to do a bunch of other stuff yesterday.
I did Control F and didn't see it.
But yeah, this is a returning game, and you know what? That's perfectly fine.
Some of us probably haven't played it.
But if I do a search for just the name of this, it doesn't come up.
I did a search in records, and it did.
If I put in the whole name, it does, but not the first word that's in the title.
That's
You know
weird.
What I mean?
That's odd.
Well, anyway, I wanted to talk about how this is a game about how, you know, even the smallest of people can have greatness thrust upon them. What did they say in Lord of the Rings? No, even the smallest person can change the course of the future.
We'll say, if there's anything that anybody knows about this game, it's that you can launch a cow.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to say what we've got here, Terror?
Sure.
So I'll just go ahead and say it then. It's Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim.
God, that's beautiful. The memories, the pain. Groovy!
So Terror actually originally was going to try to give us the Sega CD version, but we don't do. But Sega CD isn't on the list of consoles we'll allow here, mostly because of a lot of Sega CD games just being like FMV games showing off the tech, and thus I gotta worry about DMCA hell with like half the library, and I'm not really in the mood to try to make sure everything is perfectly fine for that.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because if I did allow Sega CD games, I would 100% make people play Panic, and that is always the game that is always the game I'm going to cite for the Sega CD is Panic.
Why?
Because that game is absolutely ridiculous, and you should go play it if you haven't played it.
Yes, it's so.
It is easy.
It's one of those games where it's like you can't understand how ridiculous it is until you've either played or seen it.
It's one of those games that you really feel like they just took it from Japan. It's like, should we change any? No. Okay.
No, not at all.
Alright, well, I'm ready to go when the rest of you are.
I'm good when you are.
As ready as can be.
Alright.
Oh yeah.
Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Earthworm Jim.
Cow.
Oh boy.
Cow.
Cowabunga.
New Junk City.
Come on. There we go.
This goes like I expect it will. From when I think last time we played this, I basically got lost in like stage 2. I recall that because Earthworm Jim is not an easy game, and I don't remember much from when we played it.
It does not hold your hand.
Yeah, I think I've played a little.
Good news, Cal launched.
Go launched.
I'm sure that will never come back again.
Nope. Never. What are you saying?
Beware, cow. Oh my god. Yep, the tire maze, I remember that.
You'll never get tired of that, right?
I sure won't. Okay, conveyor belt that you can climb up and avoid the falling everything. Yippee!
Come on, give me them guns. Come here.
Ow.
This is one I don't really have a lot of familiarity with, to be honest, because I've never really played Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim... See, Earthworm Jim is kind of like an odd sort of deal, because it's not exactly, like, it's a game that people know, but it's not a game that I would really call a good game, per se.
Oh, how it got as popular as we know here, I might even call it a Bubsy factor. Like, it's not exactly great, but people know of it.
Yeah.
It's not bad enough that it did actually get a cartoon.
Yep.
It succeeded when Bubsy failed.
Yeah.
You're such a groovy guy.
Earthworm Jim.
I mean, could you imagine that, though, in, like, in a like, just watching the cartoon Earthworm Jim, and you see a cartoon version of Cal launched. That'd be great. Oh, I'm gonna super die here in a sec. Yep, that's death.
I think one of the things about Earthworm Jim is it feels very, very 90s. It has that extremely 90s feeling of and sense of humor.
It's definitely extremely cartoony. There's no way around that bit.
Shit.
It's...
Quit biting my tail.
The animation behind it is top notch. It's...
Something else that just feels like a weird design choice for a game like this is the limited ammo.
Yeah.
Because, like, this isn't exactly a game I would associate with, yeah, you have limited ammo, that makes sense. Like, you got a lot of ammo, granted. But you still have limited ammo. And it's like, is that really necessary?
It shouldn't need it.
I guess maybe to keep you from trying to just contra everything.
Maybe? But this seems like the kind of game that something like that would be designed for, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's just a personal gripe. Warning!
Come here.
I believe I have found a boss.
I believe you would have been the mini boss.
Yeah, I did recall there being another boss after this.
Yep, the junkie bot.
Very cool.
See if I can actually finish the stage.
Yeah, no, the stage just keeps going and going.
And going. And
Is this the boss?
going.
Yeah, this looks like the actual stage boss. Yep, that's what I need to do to you. So at least I remember some things from when we had the first time we had this.
Whoop. Whoa.
Okay, extra life. Nice.
Groovy!
Oh god.
Love that groove.
Alright, I need to be really careful. I'm at 12% health now. Although the tubas being dropped on me does not help any.
Nope.
Okay, I kind of have I figure I mean to kite them, but I think the boss is down though for me.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I want it.
Oh, and I should probably do this as well. For people who are still here from the raid, here is a link to the Discord if you think you might want to join in on the fun here. Andy Asteroids!
Ah, yes, the bonus game. Me.
Andy.
Also,
Not
as
Andy.
a kid, I never could get past stage 3. No way, no how. That stage is hell.
See if I can get anything good out of the bonus stage.
I believe that's how you get continues, if I'm not wrong.
I mean, that would be helpful. But ate shit and died, because you die in one hit. I forgot about that fact.
Yep. Yippee!
Whoa, Nelly!
Aye.
Perspective is sometimes a thing, though, in this.
Yep.
Ah, poop.
Oh, hello, boss.
Came, I saw, I got blowed up.
Give me the extra life. Oh,
Why is he throwing
yeah.
out?
Get out of here with that tuba.
Or
You learned the way of tuba.
Do we have tubing?
No.
Teebin.
Come on, you should be an expert on this.
Oh, fuck off. Alright, I'm out. Oh, those are definitely shades.
Can't believe you're giving in the big tube like this.
Ruby!
Whoops.
Oh, grab the tube beside me, you asshole!
What the heck?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember this stage being Problems Town.
Yep.
Ow.
Well, it's hell. Of course. Yippee!
Yippee indeed.
Groovy! Yeah. Oh yeah, you got a groovy button.
Because we've got voice samples, dang it.
If a game has voice samples, they're gonna use them as much as they can in this era.
Very cool.
Yep. Whoa, Nelly!
Okay, there's some ammo.
Something.
Cool, I guess. Ooh, nice. Full heal. Or a pretty good heal at the very least. What's down there? Stuff that I'm probably not gonna be able to get. Nope. Instead, I'm gonna get fried. Well, I've got. Well, I had a solid weapon, and then I used it. Ow.
And a whole lot more weapons included.
Can I jump to that?
Holy moly.
No, I can't exactly jump to that per se. That's a continue point, though. I will gladly take. That does move me slightly, which I think does come into play. Oh, right, that's what these are for. Right, now I remember. And I hate it.
Oh yeah, the kind of elevators you have to power through feet.
Yep.
Yeah. As an Earthworm, he's not exactly used to walking, or having legs, or arms.
True.
You know, all of that evolved stuff.
And every direction I go is just get barbecued some more.
Oh.
Although I think I know which way the game wants me to go now. Because I think I am going in a circle at this point. Oh, nope, that's death. Goody. Yeah, there's the gem again.
Oh, continue just puts me. Oh.
Hey! You have earned a continue! Yeah!
He got that over me. I don't think I
Yours.
earned the continue.
Gotta get enough
I
orbs in the bonus game.
figured you had to get enough, but I kind of tried to get them, but it wasn't like my main focus. My main focus, surprise, was survival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Usually the force field does help.
Uh-oh.
Hey.
I think that guy's mad at me.
Yeah, see. Also gotta love the music in stage 2. Like, what a weird mix.
Elevator music. Truly the sounds of heck.
Ah.
I think I could really benefit, though, from, like, being able to pan the camera.
It would help.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like I can do that, which is unfortunate. But actually, I just intended to...
Oh, I really got a continue point, but I'm on my last life, so probably not gonna be that much.
Yeah, here we go. That's what I needed to do. I knew there was something I was missing.
Wait, did I just come back here again?
By the way, remember that you can whip things. You're probably gonna need to use it.
Yep.
This is your not-so-subtle hint for Stage 2. So you don't get completely boned like I did. Oh, I've warped somewhere. I found a snowman in hell.
Yep. Welcome to your mini boss.
I mean, it seems simple enough pattern-wise. Unless I'm not actually doing damage, because it's not really giving me a whole lot of feedback for, yeah, you're damaging the boss.
Yeah.
Not that it matters, because I'm dead.
Whoop.
Yes, the snowball did have a chance in hell.
Let's open up the can of worms.
Oh, back here. I'm doing a lot better the second time. I think I should get through here without losing a life so far.
Oh. Okay, continue puts me at the mid-boss. That's not too bad.
Ah, darn it.
Meh. Do, 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 do.
Looks like I'm doing damage, I think. I would assume so, because you are attacking me way more aggressively now. Yep, Snowman's dead.
Nice.
Guess a snowman can't survive in hell. Or heck.
Nope.
Weird, right? Which also probably means I'm nearing the actual boss, maybe? There are a lot. That's a lot of stalactites. Like, Jesus.
Fighting a lawyer in hell. Who would have seen that coming?
Can I jump up here? Yes, I can. Okay. Is that really... Oh, am I...
Oh, the mini boss didn't come back when I continued.
Yep, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is further than I made it the first time we had this on here. Because I think I got a full game over the first time around.
I'm probably gonna wind up getting a full game over.
Wait.
Okay, can I just like
yeah.
Okay. Drop down here. Yep.
Why cat? Alright, I know because it's a cat.
Oh, well. Those gems are leaving me behind. Let's try that again. I probably gotta jump from one to the other to avoid obstacles, is what's going on here. I'll take that. Extra life.
I need to fall on the damn trampoline.
Uh-oh. Please stop chomping me! Please die! Thank you.
Dumped me right in there. How rude.
Okay, well, we've learned whip anything that looks like a wheel. But what does this do for me, though? Not... Oh, God. Okay, so I can go further down here. That's not just a death pit. Okay. Okay, so that's what the wheel opens. And that. Okay.
What to do here? What to do? Oh, hi, lawyer.
I have to figure out what I wanted to say about this. I play a lot of platforms and I say, ooh, I'm bad at platforms all the time. But in this game, when I take damage, I feel like it's my fault and not the game just ripping me. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's funny because
this game feels fair to me.
I mean, like, I take damage in this, and sometimes I feel like, okay, I really couldn't have avoided this damage, but the game at least gives you enough health to kind of mitigate that problem. There's enough health pickups for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn around.
Where exactly am I going now?
Keep screwing this up.
Oh.
Double whip section.
Ah, darn it.
Like, I see a point where I can go. Ow.
Ah.
Doesn't help when the door keeps slamming shit on me.
Same.
Nope, that's not what I need to do.
I'm running off of that thing, and yet it keeps dumping me off.
Oh god, okay. I think I see where I'm supposed to go, and I hate it.
You gotta whip one place and whip to the other?
Yeah, but the problem is, like, I can't see the second one, so I just gotta kind of whip and hope I get lucky, it looks like. Because it's not on screen.
Yep. Welcome to heck.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Shouldn't have taken me so many tries.
Okay, at the very least, ammo does regenerate. Unfortunately, I'm down to about 68 bullets.
I have one bullet, but it's a super bullet.
And I've dropped down and got to do the double whip again.
Oh.
Lovely.
Ah, stupid lawyers.
I'm at 1% HP. I'm gonna hyper die.
Oy.
Okay, I'm gonna try something else. Just to kind of confirm something. What happens if I hold down the button instead? Nothing. Okay, I had to at least try that.
Don't know until you try.
Yep.
Like, I'm pretty convinced at this point at what I need to do. It just sucks. But also, I'm not taking too much damage per attempt. As long as I'm playing competently, I'm taking, like, no damage. There we go! There's the double whip that I was trying to do, and now I'm gonna die.
Nice.
Yep. Well, at least I know I can do that now, and I still have lives. Like, if I'm keeping them at the pace that I'm going, I should hopefully be able to outlive the timer.
But can you outlive the boss, who has 9 lives?
Tell me I'm gonna fight a cat?
Possibly?
Yeah, I'm gonna get some health.
What do you think is the most evil creature in hell?
Oh, it's a cat.
Besides lawyers.
The life does come back, though, which is good. I can just pick that up again, so I basically lose nothing but the time I spent in the stage. Assuming I can get it, that is.
I think I'm gonna have a full game over here shortly.
Heck.
There we go. Get that life back again. Earthworm Jim was always one of those games that, like, I meant to play it. Like, I have it on Genesis. But I never really got around to playing it.
Well, shoot me again. Keep at it.
Ow.
Meh.
Ow. Alright, well, low health again. This is always a good sign.
Look at yourself.
I'm getting better at the double whip, though.
You get into a rhythm after a while.
Yeah. I did pass by a checkpoint, although I deliberately decided to skip it, because if I did grab it, that would be after the life. So I'm essentially, at this point, in a life loop.
How on earth am I supposed to get the stuff that's above me?
Oh, it's a full heal. Cool.
I haven't figured out, unless there's like some sort of mechanic that I haven't really thought to try yet. Oh god.
Me neither. I haven't found
that
it.
you can't see.
One idea I had was using your whip. There might be a way to whip up. Let's actually do. I haven't found anything of the sort.
Alright, got an extra life.
Wow.
Which is good, because I don't have any continues.
Please tell me to push me back to the boss.
You're about to find out.
Yeah. Come on, bring it.
I'm glad I got that.
Okay, at this point, I think I'm just going to die. Yeah, sure. I was going to say at this point I'm just going to go ahead and grab the continue, but I died trying to get it, so... I guess I'm still in this life loop. At least I can say I'm probably not going to get a full game over. Whatever that might be worth.
And there we go. Get back here, you suit. Meh. Now scratching post.
We'll pick up some more of that.
What do you do with this green gem?
You
gotta
have
walk
to
on
run
top
on
of
it. You have to run on it, yeah.
Okay, took me a while to do it without falling off.
That's sort of like a treadmill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It speeds up after a little moment, but it's still tricky to stay on the first time.
Alright.
6.
I forget how many stages this game is as well. Like, that's what I'm curious to know, since we're only on stage 2 at this current moment.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch. There we go.
You got the
Stage
boss.
2 done.
Nice.
Now for more asteroid. Groovy.
Yeah, this is...
Back to asteroids.
Yeah, this is where I was, but now I'm basically starting here instead of dealing with that life loop, so maybe this'll go better?
You know?
And I nailed the double whip.
I'm not gonna figure out where to go.
This gem is picky.
Yeah, stage 2 is very much a where the heck do I go sort of stage. But I guess it kind of rings true for like a lot of the game based off of stage 1, but it's like that becomes more apparent in stage 2.
Okay, that was definitely not what I was supposed to do, but I did it anyway.
Yeah, I knew you were there that time.
Can I go back up?
No.
I think I can.
Please die. You.
Yes, I can. Alright, go get that one up again.
Thank God I can shoot my gun in any sort of direction I want. Oh, this looks like boss. Yep, I have found the boss.
Congratulations on finding the boss.
Is there any way to actually stop those liars, or do you just have to avoid them?
Sorry, what?
The lawyers, do you just have to avoid them?
No, kill them. Just whip them and shoot them out.
Yeah.
Whip them, they'll toss the suitcase out of the air, they'll be defenseless to your gun. And now the real hell.
Alright, so
Down the tubes.
if I am reading this boss fight correctly, literally the entire boss is just a void. Yeah, I think I got through that boss. Oh, is it 2
Not quite
phases?
done yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, first phase I got through pretty easily. Oh yeah, it does count how many hits you've landed on the boss.
9 lives.
That's 4 lives. I'll probably beat the boss, and then that'll be time right about there. Unless I die. I am running low on health. I'm up to 5th life down. 6. 7. 8. Come on, where's 9?
Nah.
Oh my god.
Did you get it?
No. Got 3 hits. The boss got 3 hits in a row on me when I was on the last hit. Alas. But I don't have to do the first fight over. I was going into Form 2 with like half health anyway. And now that I have more of an idea of like what I'm doing against this boss, I should be able to get him. Within the time limit, we'll see, because I've got 2 minutes left on the clock.
And here's the real hell of this stage.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, that stage looks fun.
Stage 3 has that little glass submarine that if you start hitting things around too much, it breaks. If it breaks, you're dead no matter what your health is. And of course, you're on a timer. Now, this might not seem all too bad in some respect, but later on, there's no way you can make it through it unless you refill your air, and you gotta pass through a wall for a secret room to get more air. That part is mandatory. You cannot get through it enough time unless you do that.
Groovy.
New Nintendo version, Gene.
And the asteroids. I'm back in bonus stage land.
Yeah.
Any idea on exactly how many of the orbs you need to pick up in order to get an extra continue?
50.
I believe I was at 50 when I got them last time.
Okay.
50, yep.
I must have been just shy then, because I feel like I was in like the 40s.
I got 40 the last time I was on that stage, and I didn't get to continue, so that sounds about right.
I glitched it.
This is book club, so my feed is so Kami can cut it.
Well,
Oh my god.
what the hell did you do, Veritasu?
I died right as the transition was going from the first phase of the fight to the second phase. So I still had a life left, but apparently I died in such a way I don't spawn.
Huh.
Oh god.
I can't believe her
Congratulations.
fucking dead.
I'm an expert
already
at
in
getting
hell.
the weirdest glitches.
Apparently, like, what the hell?
You know what to say to that? Groovy.
Alright.
Groovy.
I had to at least make sure I get through that bonus stage, but we're at time.
Alright, time enough for me to die here. Meh, meh.
If you beat this game on the hardest difficulty setting on the Sega CD, you get an inspirational speech from the creator of Earthworm Jim telling you that you're the best.
Hey, and I earned to continue.
Even better, I believe there's the CD version is also an easy mode. If you get all the way to the ending, the creator tells you suck. It starts giving you an educational text all about Earthworm.
I think I remember something about the educational text on earthworms. But when we come back, we've got one final game from the night from Veritasu. We'll be back in a bit.
That was fun. It might not be the best quality gameplay-wise game, but it had style. It had cartoonish stuff. It does.
Yeah, it's definitely not lacking in that. It's definitely got lots of panache.
Yes.
I'm leaving the game up while we're on break, and I like how Earthworm Jim's idle animation is he jumps out of his spacesuit and just plays jump rope.
Yep, it's one of his animations.
Well, considering the fact that it's basically the suit toying with him.
Yep. It's true goes even further on this, I swear. And if I'm not, was it that game that if you wait too long on him, on his idle animation, suddenly an anvil will drop on him and poof, you're dead.
Ah, so the Darkwing Duck strategy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. Time for the last game of the night. Veritasu's game.
Well, much like last time, I bring to you something from the land of licensed games.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yes and no. It's based on a film. It's a classic film. And this game came out shockingly early. Because I always thought of this as a much later game, but no, this came out very early in the NES's lifespan, at least in North America. The bad news is it's the mixed news is it's a licensed game. The good news is it's by Konami. It's a sequel to a game that we didn't get.
I think it's a sequel to an MSX game, I think is what the first one was on.
Well, actually, it's...
Or did it get on Famicom?
It came out on the Famicom, and it did technically come out here in arcades and like PlayChoice 10 or a VS machine. Anyway, the point is, it's an early Metroidvania. It's the Goonies II.
Which I believe is also your high-risk pick for Swap Race.
Yes, it is.
So you're gonna get
preview.
So you're gonna get an early taste of that if it gets rolled.
I hope it gets rolled.
Lovely.
Oh, jeez. The Fratellis.
Yep.
They're gonna get you. And an incredibly ugly woman that was only in like 5 movies.
Yep, that's true. Memorable, though.
Throw mom off the train.
And she got her head blowed up by a basketball and deadly friend.
I was a big fan of the movie The Goonies when I was a kid, so imagine renting this.
Well, you know what? Honestly, it's not a bad game. It's just, confusing, and it's got a few things that are not very intuitive.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of that's also like kind of standard for NES games, especially with the more open ones. So, like a lot of the logic of them is pretty esoteric, even in known games like Metroid 1 or Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Sometimes the logic is very esoteric.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Thankfully, most of the time, it's not that hard to understand. There's one item that you sort of need that you really, really... I don't know how they expected people to find that without a strategy guide.
I wouldn't say you gotta knock on every wall because you gotta find the secrets.
Yep. Sometimes you gotta knock on other things, too.
Alright, is everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goonies II.
Well, I'll just restart because I was absent-mindedly. I accidentally pressed to start while we were talking. I'm so bad at this.
So I was...
It's not like it really matters.
Yeah, I was playing this a little bit earlier for testing, and the immediate game this game reminded me of was Legacy of the Wizard. Because I had played that. Yeah. But also partially because I had played that recently.
I can definitely see that.
You've got a hammer.
Okay, one thing that I'll go ahead and let you in on to make it a little... you'll probably figure it out eventually. When you're in the 3D areas, if you look at your sprites, depending on whether or not you're facing forward or backwards will tell you which way you came in. Usually it's not that big of a deal, and it's not like game-breaking or anything, but it can make navigating a little confusing if you don't cotton onto that.
Find the Goonies with the magic locator device.
Just press the round button. Very good.
We got a key holder.
Yeah, if you hit the start button, you can see the map. It is a fairly decent-sized map.
And it has a front and back.
Oh, good. So I get the feeling, at least a decent part of this game is going to end up being very where the heck do I go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also looks like I don't have much health, but it also looks like I can get my health upgraded.
Yeah, you can. Every time you rescue a Goonie, you gain 1 extra bar of health.
Ooh.
Well, I found the backside.
Okay, good. You're heading in the right direction. Finding the first Goonies not that hard.
I take it the blue dot on my map is where they're located?
Exactly.
Alright, so I guess just start heading in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay, that can't be too bad. I'm sure it's gonna get worse later on.
The game's not... mostly the game is about finding your way around and finding things, because you've got infinite continues. It's got a password system. You continue, you pick up right where you left off when you continue. So it's very forgiving in that way.
Nice.
It's just you got to find your way around. Also, a tip: the old man in the warp room, don't hit him.
Is it the classic roguelike gag of don't attack the shopkeeper?
Kind of. Basically, if you punch him, he won't let you use his warp zone anymore.
Oh. Yeah, that would probably be bad.
Although, here's the irony. To get one of the items, you've got to punch somebody. Repeatedly.
Okay,
Does the game tell you that?
Nope.
So I'm in the location. I assume the Goonie I'm looking for is beyond this door here. That's in this area.
And you have to hit him 5 times. That's the crazy thing.
Oy.
Okay.
There's also one completely optional item in the same area, actually, that you have to punch a door for.
I found a bomb box.
Oh, that's good. That'll give you a secondary weapon. Every bomb box gives you... I don't... No.
Goonies #1 pound.
Every bomb box gives you 5 additional... increases your max of that by 5, and also gives you 5.
Right.
You can also get additional key holders to increase the amount of keys you can hold.
Ooh.
You find those by punching walls.
Because of course.
Yeah, I'm starting to see at least a little bit of the leaps in logic, but I have rescued a Goonie.
Good.
Definitely some interesting jumps in logic to do, but hey.
One thing to keep in mind that'll help in the 3D sections, as far as fist punching, you'll never have to... The only place you'll have to fist punch in terms of looking for stuff is the middle wall. You never have to punch the ceiling, the floor, or either of the side walls. Now the hammer, you do sometimes have to do the ceiling and the floor.
Yeah, I smacked my hammer against a, oh god. I smacked my hammer against a wall and it revealed a door.
Yep. The leaps of logic at times, it's... Yeah. enemies.
Yeah.
Enjoyable.
God darn it. Oh hey, that actually put me close to where I was going. How handy.
I cannot ascend.
Oh.
Alright, let's go ahead and leave here
I
then.
was tempted to punch the old man, but no, I might need him before the time is up.
Can you feel an old man?
Oh.
Alright, yep, I used bombs exactly how I thought I would. Up and B.
Yep. You can also get Molotov cocktails. The bombs do, the Molotov cocktails are just used on enemies. The bombs do have a double purpose in that there's two places I know of where if you drop a bomb there, you'll actually, three places I can think of now, you can actually uncover a door that will, in one case give you in two of the cases it gives you a 1-up, in one of the cases it gives you an item early that's pretty useful. And I really need to...
I'm here.
Alright, what's in this door?
I need to go back.
This is a warp zone. Alright, well, I'm back on the back side. It is interesting that this game has a front and back side. It kind of reminds me of Symphony of the Night with the reverse castle.
Well, this is Konami.
That's true.
It's 2 big dungeons for the price of 1.
And boy, they made Symphony of the Night before they made Symphony of the Night.
Firebox.
Okay, I'm going to assume touching water is going to be bad.
Yep, at least until you get... The neat thing is there's a lot of items you get that make things easier. Like you get a raincoat that protects you from all water damage, you get a football helmet that protects you from icicles and things falling on your head, you get a bulletproof vest that cuts your damage in half.
I keep getting hoisted by the idea of,
Okay.
like, I keep making the mistake of hitting up when I entered from that direction in a bunch of these rooms.
Yep.
Yep.
Habits.
Nothing here. Alright, let's go back this
Then
way.
again, thank you, Veritasu, for letting us know, because otherwise, kinda confusing.
Yeah, it takes a little time to get used to, but once you do, it's not so bad. I kind of feel like they put that in after they started doing the 3D sections because the testers were like, I don't know which way I come in, it's confusing.
I keep seeing a bunch of pits that I don't want to fall down because I assume that's going to be, like, death.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the design of the game also leads me to think maybe they won't be. Maybe they'll just lead me to another screen.
Nope, this is one of those games where, yes, you will go up and down on screens, but if you do it any way other than a vine or a ladder, you're gonna die.
Okay.
Yeah, so fall damage.
Not so much fall damage as much as there's no ground unless you're climbing.
Gee.
Snake, please get out of my way. Ah, this appears to be a dark room. I also noticed that, like I rescued my first Goonie, but then I don't see a dot on my map for where the next one is.
You don't get, in 3D sections, sometimes that magic locator device you picked up, that tells you the location of one Goonie.
Okay. So it's not you're always gonna be getting this feature.
Yeah, there's a magic locator device for each Goonie, and if you pick it up, it'll tell you where to find that one.
Alright, and how many Goonies are there in total?
There are a total of 6.
Okay.
Plus plus Annie the Mermaid.
Ooh.
You know, from the
Yeah,
movies.
I looked up a long play just to see like how long the game was if you knew where you were going, and it's about 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's not an exceptionally long game if you know where you're going. But figuring out where to go takes a fair amount of time.
Good, now I'm in the 9th layer of hell, I guess.
Oh, did you reach the volcano level?
No, I'm in an ice cave.
Oh,
Hell hath
okay.
frozen over after all.
Right, Dante's Inferno, never mind. I forgot my classic.
Ooh, nice. Healing.
Oh yeah, don't hit Konami Man either. If you hit Konami Man, he will never refill your health again.
Oof.
Is that what he actually is named? Konami Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
I'm like, I could
makes me
totally-
think of the next game I'm probably gonna bring to Retro.
Oh, I got a boomerang.
Again.
Oh man, I got an Eskimo! I'm an Eskimo!
You found the Eskimo! Congratulations! I think it broke terror.
It'll be fine.
He'll be okay.
I mean, what's worse,
Okay,
finding an
let's
Eskimo or
start.
finding Konami Man? Really, it's just pick your poison at that point.
Yeah, at least Konami Man refills your health.
But unless you punch him.
Unless you punch him.
Okay,
Okay.
where am I now?
Just... Okay, you know, the path that you had to go through to get to Konami Man, not the room he was in, but the paths 3D path you had to take to get there. You know how there's a guy off to the side?
Mm-hmm.
You don't like that guy. You should do something about it. Repeatedly.
About 5 times or so?
About 5 times or so.
Well, I'll keep that in mind when I'm in the area again, whenever that may be. I'll give him a good punching.
That's the one item I'm just like, but why?
What does that even get you?
That gets you the candle.
Okay, so you can actually see your way in dark
Yeah.
areas. Yeah, I was wondering that because I was going through I was navigating some dark areas and I'm like, okay, oh, here's something. You got a slingshot.
Ah, yes. If you reach the bridge area, because I see Polk's coming up on it, be aware, the stone-headed guys, they don't hurt you, but if they touch you, they take your boomerang.
Huh.
Just be aware of that.
Alright, so I found somebody who's
Yeah,
looking for
boomerang.
glasses. So I guess if I find some, I gotta head back to them.
No, they're just telling you that you will get glasses,
Okay.
basically. You never have to give anything to anybody.
Me?
And I died. Let's try that again.
Oh, that goes up for revenge.
Did you beat up somebody you didn't need to?
I punched the Eskimo. He said, ouch, what do you do?
Oi.
How could you? He was just an Eskimo!
You didn't warn me about not doing it, so I figured I should do it.
You're a monster!
Don't look.
Punching
Golden
some
rule:
people
don't
get
punch
my-
people unless you need to. It's a good rule.
Me. Me.
Have I been over here?
Nice.
Now I'm starting to run into the question of, have I been here before?
Well, this is a gargoyle!
I'm starting to approach that point.
Now the good thing is that there's a fair amount of variety in terms of the way the backgrounds and whatnot look.
Oh god, ice physics.
Oh, someone just put me in the beginning of the room.
I get a feeling I shouldn't be here yet.
No, you're... did you get the glasses?
No.
You shouldn't be here yet.
Where are the glasses, then?
You know that dark room you had to go through to get to... Well, actually... You know the ice room that you had to go through the dark room to get to?
Yeah.
In the room that's in there, the glasses are.
Alright, well, I found the boomerang. I see a pool of water here. I assume I can't do anything about this right now, unless I have to hit...
Not until you get the scuba gear.
Okay. I'm like, am I gonna be doing some fishing here?
Nah. Well, sort of, I guess.
But I have also found the Eskimo.
You can get the glasses right now, actually. You don't have to have the candle for it.
What is the continue situation like with this game? Because it occurs to me I haven't died yet in this game.
Infinite continues. You respawn pretty much right where you died. You get a password. The only punishment you get is that you start at 0 keys and you lose all of your sub-weapons.
Lovely.
Alright. Okay, so that's on continue, not death. Because I was about to say, I still have my keys, but no, that was just death.
Yeah, it's very reasonable in that regard.
What do you do?
Hit people, apparently.
Why don't you tell me to get out of here?
Yeah, firebox.
Oh man, the candle!
Kind of wondering if I should change the, since I technically was the one that put in what the goal would be, if I should bump it down to 3 Goonies. Because 2 you can get fairly quickly, the 3rd one takes a little longer.
Ah, Toonies.
What did you submit it as 4?
Yeah, I set it at 4 initially.
I think a lot of it would also depend on how much of a readme do you write up for it, because I think this is a game that, like, if you had a good readme, you could probably get away with something a bit longer. But if you want people to just wander around blindly, that might be another story.
Yep.
Okay, I got the 3rd. Okay, 3rd one. Yeah, 3rd one. What time? How long has it been?
18 minutes.
Yeah, 4 may be well. It's one of those things where it's either going to be, if you know what you're doing, you'll clear it fairly quickly, or it could take a while.
If you provide a map with all the Goonie locations, or something of the sort, that might help. Instead of people blindly wandering around like, okay, is there a Goonie here?
Yeah. I mean, I could provide any level of walkthrough where all the items are. I kind of want to give the hint about finding the candle in a readme before they even start, because that's kind of unfair in my opinion.
Speaking of candle, I have the candle.
Yay!
Set the candle.
You get your candle.
So I assume it just is automatically used when I enter in a dark room at this point, or
No, you have to manually choose it.
Okay.
Kinda silly, but...
It is this very silly game.
No, not key. Candle.
Oh, you'll always be here for me, Eskimo.
Oh, I have to use it every time. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are the glasses?
Well, I found...
I went to the room that I thought you mentioned, but I was incorrect.
It's, you know the room that has the, you know the area that has the Eskimo?
Yeah?
It's not the room with the Eskimo, it's in that area with the Eskimo. That series of rooms.
Oh, alright, there was a door in this other, I think.
Just poke around in there and you'll probably find it.
Alright, so I've finally found a magical cake. I assume if you're in a dark room with an item, you can't pick it up unless the room is lit.
I think you can pick it up. I don't think it stops you from doing it, you just can't really tell what's going on.
Alright, so I know where the next Goonie is because I picked up the locator. So let's see if I can make my way over to them.
Actually, come to think of it, the magic locators might make it just having a map to show where everything goes to everything itself just might be enough.
Maybe? I think hinting at where magic locators are at least would be helpful.
Yeah.
Definitely. Just enough, blind enough for it to be an adventure.
May even do it as kind of a hint. Here's a series of photographs of interesting places.
While you're sightseeing.
What's that this from?
Actually, I may start working on that so just in case it gets rolled. Do it as a travelogue.
Okay, well that's definitely not the way to this Goonie. That's the way to a whole nother section of the world that I don't want to get involved in right now.
Did you get the one in the ice area?
I did not. I've only found one Goonie so far.
There's 2 ice areas connected to that red cave. One of them leads to the Eskimo guy. The other one leads to the Goonie. So probably want to pick them up.
Alright, I can do some searching then if I end up finding my way back to that area again. Unfortunately, I don't 100% remember how I got there in the first place, so I'm just gonna be kind of wandering around and seeing what happens. Because my main intent right now was to find the one that the locator was gonna point me towards. That might actually, the way to that one might be down here. Yeah, so this door is looking promising for that. Get out of my way, spider.
I'm definitely needing to turn back, because clearly I'm not where I belong.
Oh, maybe not. Friggin' warp zone. So let's keep going further this way. Oh, that's death.
Yeah, you can take my boomerang. I don't really care. I'm gonna be getting it back in a second anyway.
Where am I now? Is this backwards?
Bridge?
Is it?
If you go on the bridge the first time, is there a way back?
Yeah, you can go back. Oh, you just jump over scroll the screen a little bit more to the left.
Alright,
Just
time.
jump up and over it slightly.
Alright.
That was a jump of faith there.
Okay, oh god. Time Wanderer, thanks for the raid. How has Lost Judgment been? No, I saw a bit of that before I had to set up for this. Okay, so game over. Yeah, game over still puts me in the same general area.
Yeah, it's very generous.
Oh, you have found Detective Dog. Good. I'm glad you got there. Detective Dog is good boy. Okay, I think this is where... Oh, I actually, I might have a small problem on my hands. Because I got a game over, I'm out of keys. Yeah.
You'll have to grind for them on enemies then.
The drop rate is kind of low, I noticed.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing.
Well, just in case, I need to make sure to hit walls. Yep, there's the... fuck. But I need a key to open up the cell. Damn it. Alright, well, I found another Goonie. I just need keys.
Yep.
Guess what I'm not gonna get?
Keys.
Correct.
Oh, right.
But for people... Wow, that's some physics. But for people coming in from the raid, we're doing Retro Book Club, so we've each picked out a game, and we're playing them for half an hour. This is the last game for the night, though. Does everyone hate it as much as you do? I mean, I enjoy the idea of it. It's just confusing of where to go.
I mean, I love it. So.
And that's why you picked it. Hey, I got a key. All right, so let's go. Let's go save ourselves a second Goonie.
Yeah.
Or let's get physics to death. Wow.
Hopefully not the physics. Oh.
Okay, nice, level, lovely.
Thankfully, it's nice that it spawns you right there next to it.
Be careful on bridge not to lose boomerang. I think you were mentioning that before.
Yeah.
Okay. Use the hammer on the wall. What? Okay, this definitely worked the first time. Excuse you. Alright, now get me the heck out of here. Yep, I've got 4 HP now. So I guess if there's... I love ice physics. I guess if there's 6 Goonies in total, that means when you're at the end, you'll be up to 10? Or is there just a point you get to where freeing a Goonie just stops giving you additional health?
No, you'd be at 8.
Okay. Oh, 8, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I thought 10. Well, that is a... Yeah, so apparently the, map that I had, the locator, was pointing me towards one of the Goonies in the ice area. I think that's everything in, this section of the ice area, though, so let's get out of here. And maybe find where the other ice area is, except probably not, since we've only got 2 minutes left on the clock.
And for the record, I was able to get the 4th Goonie, so that's about how long it takes to get 4 Goonies if you know what you're doing.
Okay. That's also an interesting way to display health, looking at where the health goes after you get your 5th bit of HP.
Yep.
That definitely does not look like natural HP.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, hi, that was a short jump.
Actually, there's not much point in even getting this. I'm not going to be able to get back there.
Is this the beginning area again? It might be.
Yeah, you've gone back to the beginning area again.
Okay, well... If I wanted to, like, make serious progress in this without using, like, any sort of resources, I would probably just, like, bust out the pencil and paper.
Yeah, I mean, it's divided up into blocks, so that makes it a little bit easier to mark, you know.
Yeah, I know there was one area that I had the option to go to, but I turned back because I was going to lead away from the Goonie I was trying to locate and save.
One of the things that makes it difficult is the warp zones don't... The warp zones kind of break Euclidean geometry.
Yeah, and that kind of worked against me, because I'm following the map, like, okay, if I go in this general area, if I go to the backside of this room, it'll lead me to, oh, it's a warp zone, so I'm gonna go to some random part of the map. Well, that sucks.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I'm curious.
I think the warp zones only go front to back, though, or front to back and back to front.
Okay.
I don't think they warp you between points on the... Yeah, they don't. Because you can only go front to back and back to front, so...
That is time, by the way.
Alright.
So let me grab the list of games we have here. And let's start talking about them and our thoughts on them. Game number 1 of the night, Batman for NES.
I mean... It's Batman. It's It's freaking awesome.
I would argue one of the best NES Sunsoft games, if not the best NES Sunsoft game.
It's definitely not easy, and oh boy, will it test you, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, it's Sunsoft showing off the stuff they do the best. Game control, incredible detailed backgrounds, fantastic music. I mean, it's the full package.
Yeah. Game number 2 of the night, Parasite Eve for PS1. It's an RPG, so, like, I don't think we could have really, like, by any means get far enough to really get to experience Parasite Eve. We basically got to see the opening acts of the game, and that was most of it.
Yep, you don't get to explore the full bracket of it here. Different kind of weapons, the different enemies, the tactics behind it. But I still remember this game fondly.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great game. I kind of wish that there were some more RPGs, and maybe there are some more RPGs that use that particular style of play, because it makes it to where that the action segments don't feel boring, or the fighting segments don't feel boring, because you're actively dodging and everything and trying to be strategic.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not just outright turn-based.
Yeah.
Your placement is not only about how you can dodge to, but also you gotta get close enough for your weapons to actually hit. You gotta conserve your ammo. There's a whole bunch of strategies.
The immediate thing I think of for a series that comes close to what Parasite Eve does is the Mario & Luigi series, because that does a lot of, if you can dodge attacks, you can just outright avoid taking damage. So it does do that.
Yeah.
Please, Zach.
Game number... Oh, go on.
Go ahead.
Game number 3 for the night, Earthworm Jim. I got further than I did when last time we had this. I got through stage 2, which is a good feat to accomplish in Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
When you're not too experienced with it.
I got to the boss of stage 2, and I found a glitch.
But, yeah, you basically soft locked, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, but we all got to launch a cow, and that's the important thing.
That is the important thing. We all got to launch a cow. It's a really imaginative game, especially in terms of like the look and feel of it. Sometimes it feels a little, I don't know, like you're just gonna take a lot of damage, but it's also fairly pretty generous with the health, so it's not too bad.
It's definitely not an easy one, but it likes to punish you here. It likes to take out your health and your lives. We're not lazy here, but there's a lot of collectibles you can grab along the way here. But the best part of it here is definitely the animation, the humor, all the kind of cartoony stuff can happen with it here without being frustrating, like a certain cat.
Doing a mascot right.
Yeah.
In our last game tonight was Goonies II. Very where the heck do I go?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got the candle. The high point of the game, getting a candle.
Yep. I'm gonna make a bold statement here. It does Metroidvania better than Metroid.
Ooh. Better than the original Metroid.
I'm specifically talking about the original Metroid.
Yeah, that I can totally believe.
I mean, yeah, I'm on board with that idea, because I don't think you got an in-game map in the original Metroid, did you?
Yeah, no, you didn't see any kind of map.
Yeah, Goonies II, you at least have a map to work with, and kind of
a lot of areas that looked alike.
And you have some kind of direction in Goonies II, whereas Metroid, you don't really have like any direction.
Yeah.
Oh. You get some hints, you get some stuff, and you always have your map along with you. You don't get completely lost.
Yeah, I think that's it doesn't. It's got enough to where I don't think it's unfair, apart from the punch the woman 5 times. That's just silly.
Alright. Lastly, rankings. Starting with my own rankings, I would put Batman at the top. After that, I'm gonna say Goonies 2 in second, and then Parasite Eve in third, just because I'm not really experienced with Parasite Eve and RPG and all that. Like, if I played the game before and I knew what I was getting myself into with Parasite Eve, if I was more experienced with the game, it might beat out Goonies 2. And then I put Earthworm Jim at the bottom. Like, I think all 4 of these games are pretty, like, at least reasonable. Depending on your opinion of some of them. Polk, what about you? How do you rank these?
It's a tough one here because for once, there isn't anything that's jank. Most of these are at the very least decent or very good. And it's hard to be able to tell here. At the top, yeah, I'll say Batman. I'll put it at the very top on that one. It's great, difficult on such here from the time it came out here. Really great production value behind it, even if it is a little bit on the unfair side. But the fact it's got the limited continues along with that here does make up for that. For me, I will put Parasite Eve on second because I've gotten more experience with it. I love playing it here. I've gone further on here, and I want to go back to it. It's just wish the sequels were better than what we received. Otherwise, Goonies and Earthworm Jim. I'm gonna put Goonies a little bit higher on that one, on third, because it's got more mechanics, it's cleaner, it's got the more adventure part of it here. It's a little bit older than Earthworm Jim, but yeah, just gonna give Goonies a little bit higher on top, and Earthworm Jim, nothing completely wrong with it, it's just a little bit of janky on the mechanics on it, like double hooks in hell, but still a very solid pick.
Alright, Teravan? If Terra is here. Oh. Okay, we'll skip Terra for now. Terra's gonna be AFK for a little bit, so Veritasu, what about you?
Well, Batman's gonna have to be number 1. I think that's fairly high consensus that Batman is the best game we've had tonight, and I cannot argue with that in the slightest. Like I said, you've said, it's the full package. It's the full Sunsoft package in one convenient game. Tight gameplay, excellent graphics, excellent music, difficult, but thankfully Infinite continues, so it's kind of fair at the same time. If you don't count the last boss.
Yeah, the last boss is the only, like, part of Batman that I'd say is pretty unfair.
Yeah. Next up, I'm gonna have to go with the Goonies 2. That's mostly because I'm partial to it. I really like that Metroidvania style. It's got a ton of charm, and I just really, really like the game. And yeah, I'm still surprised. 1987. This predates Nintendo Power. That always surprises me. Third, Parasite Eve. I love Parasite Eve. And it's a fantastic game. And I really wish there were more RPGs that use that style, because it's such a good mechanical style. And I really wish more would do that. And then Earthworm Jim, it's good. It's a great game, or at least it's a good game. I think it's got fantastic style to it. It's very creative. It's imaginative, and I'm not particularly good at it, but then again, I haven't played it that much. But, all in all, we've had 4 really solid games tonight.
Yeah.
Alright.
Not a bad one of the bunch.
I don't think Terra's back quite yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and outro us out here. Polk, what do you got going on?
Well, since Pop Race has been over here, I've been doing Mario Madness lately whenever I've got a possibility here. 50 Mario games all tossed into a single shuffler. And been doing some good progress onto that here. It's been pretty crazy on that, but yeah, that's what I'm going on at the moment. I still also need to make some more entries for Dawn Maker's board, but yeah, I need to find some time for that. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay, Veritasu, what about you?
I am still playing Suikoden 2 over Most of the days that I'm streaming, although I am still doing, I finally restarted playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles on Mondays.
Yes, good game.
It is a really good game. The voice acting sometimes hurts my throat, but I do that.
There's a lot of dialogue.
There's a lot of voice to try and do.
Novels. They'll do it.
And we still do. I'm done with Swap Race. Whenever that starts back up, I'll be doing that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I have Discord if anybody goes to my stream and wants to join in.
Right. Terra is AFK, but Terra regularly streams over on his Twitch. He's streaming like pretty much most of his waking hours. So if you like go over to Terravan's stream, odds are he'll be live. For me, anybody coming in from either raid who decided to stick around, if you want to join in for Retro Book Club yourself, there is the link to the Discord. We are also we're starting to move pretty closely into the phase of starting up Swap Race 5. We are down to the last few racers in Swap Race 4. Once they finish up, we're going to get the game trolled, and Swap Race 5 will begin. We're looking at... That might be happening later this month, but that also means signups for Swap Race 5 will be closing soon. So, make sure to sign up while you still can.
Yeah, sign up. You meet a lot of interesting people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. You meet a lot of cool people, and you get to play a lot of cool, sometimes, games.
And then sometimes you play Menace Beach.
Yeah, you're welcome for Menace Beach.
No one speaks objection, please.
Hey, it's still better than Magician.
But next stream on my site is probably going to be Tuesday with ukulele. I don't think I have anything planned for the weekend, but something will probably sneak up on me. Who knows? I will catch you all later.
Later.
All right, later.